Okay. Okay.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahman, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Sri Gurave Namaha.
Sadasivasamārambām Shankaracharya Madhyamām Asmatacharya Paryandām Vande Guru Parampara Sagana Vavadu Sagano Punak Sakaviryam Karavavakai Tejasvina Vadidamastuma Shavake. Oh, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Vasudevendra Yogindram Nattva Jnana Pradam Guru Mukshunam Hidarthaya Tattva Bodha Abhidiyate. So we are learning Tattva Bodha with all respect to Balaji's statement. This is not a theoretical lecture. If it is pure theoretical one, then I think it will be of no value. It has to be practical one. That's the reason why we are deliberating so much in the preparation of it. You see, we have not discussed the Brahman or Jiva Tattvam, but we are discussing laboriously. Unfortunately, it's a 14th session of the qualifications. I remember Usain Bolt, after winning this third time winning the 100-meter dash, and they asked him, he said, look, it's crazy, I've been practicing since my young age, 8, but it finishes in 10 seconds. But is he regretting about it? In fact, no, he would rather make it 8 seconds. So the achievement, reaching the goal can be very simple, instantaneous. We don't need to labor the whole Upanishads, all these Vedas in ocean to read it, to understand the Brahmajnanam, to get the Brahmajnanam, to get the Nikshta. If you're prepared for it, one word will come to that. Therefore, preparation is the key. And the preparation requires both Jnanam and Sadhana. Sadhana, we already discussed that sadhana is an effort you put in. Therefore, by spending your precious time on Sunday mornings and other days as well, listening to this kind of talks and reading the books, and if it accumulates wonderful knowledge to you, it is of very little use. It is like, I can write a cookbook, reading all the cookbooks in the world, but I never cook. I never eat what I cook. And that kind of knowledge is very superfluous. So we have to really take it in every session, whether you recite a slogan or listen to a discourse or read a book, you have to really look for, like a child. Child, anything you give, what it does, it puts into the mouth. Mouth is the only organ for consumption for it. Everything it wants to consume, inculcate, apply, assimilate. Therefore, life is full of practice. So I just wanted to make this point so that let's not take it very lightly that we spend time to understand knowledge, but we need to put in practice. But the Parama Purusha means moksha, fulfillment, and jnanameva kaivalyam. So therefore, only the jnanam, knowledge, can give you the freedom. But to do the knowledge, tattva vivekam, you need tattva vichara. You must inquire. So yadartha jnanam, if you see something and look at it physically, that is information that comes to you. But to know what it is, you must do vicharam. What it is, how it is made, why it is like this. So therefore, tattva vivekam comes from tattva vicharam. To do the vicharam, you need to have right tools. A surgeon cannot carry a butcher's knife. He can't do a bypass operation because he's dealing with a very thin, subtle veins. So you need a very delicate hands and a very sharp instruments for it. So is the subtle knowledge. When you go more and more into understanding yourself, your knowledge has to be very polished. So that's the reason why the qualifications are asked for. But these qualifications that we see, is not about acquiring a study. It's not that you take a retreat for 2 weeks and go and memorize some slogas or get a qualification in a yoga, come with a certificate. No. This qualification, Sadhana-CHATUSHTAYAM, is asking is to refine your mind. So it is all about not acquiring any new knowledge. Because if you only need to have knowledge to have the knowledge, that's not interesting. It is about the ability to accept and assimilate new knowledge. Therefore, all this qualification, Vivekam, Vairagyam, and rest of the thing we're going to see, is all about preparing your mind. That's very important to understand. So it is not that, if it is only learning something and become knowledgeable, you become qualified, then there are 10% of the kids are so popular in studies and they can do, they mug it up and then become a qualified one. No. All of us are equally qualified if we have the right mind. Therefore, the Sadhana-CHATUSHTAYAM, the 4 qualifications we talk about, all about the mind. Therefore, because it is about the mind, only the abhyasam can refine the mind, not the knowledge. Knowledge will really confuse the mind. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Mind is get more thoughts, you get more confused. Therefore, we are talking about how to bring the mind into the qualified state. So we talked about, we will again look at the Viveka and Vairagya. We'll skip this one, we already read this. And we also took Sankalpam that in the text only gives you a definition of what it is, because this is for Mukshuna, so who has already got this qualification. But we are the learners. Therefore, we look at this in 3 questions. What is that? What is Viveka? What is Vairagya? Like that. And what is the Upayam? How do we get it? Not enough to know what it is. How do I get it? How do I enhance it if I already have it? I need a Upayam for it. And of course, anything you do, you got to have the prayojana, the motivator. So we looked very briefly last time. I don't want to go back. I think we have less time today. So we have gone through it and say the most fundamental discerning knowledge, intellect, is to know whether something is eternal or ephemeral, nitya or anitya. We said that everybody knows about gross intellect by looking at something and say it's big or small, black or white. We know that. But then the refined form of intellect, we talked about good from the bad, which we learn from the young age, which we cultivate, right from the wrong. Once you understand the scriptures, only take the teachings from the teachers, ethics, moral codes, dharma, viveka. And then when we do our analysis and studies in life, whether you study a physics or chemistry or theology or metaphysics, you need to have vivekas to differentiate cause from the effect, karana karya. Some may look at it, the whole universe is one big Hiranyagarbha, a big god, and we are in his tummy, because you have Puranic imaginations where in the god's tummy the whole world is there. Therefore, we are in somebody's tummy. Therefore, we are anga, angi. So there are so many ways you can cut the focus of understanding. So we are here not talking about knowing it, but preparing our intellect to dissect and discern and discriminate and understand. And we briefly saw the king of all this viveka is nitya, anitya viveka, asti viveka. Why? Because everything got a value because we attach some reality to it. Is it not? See, when the reality is not there, imagine you play Monopoly with your children, your grandchildren or whatever. And there are lots of money involved. You buy things, you buy the palace, you buy the theater. Money is lost, money is given. You don't really feel any disdain or grief by losing money because you know it's a game. It is just ending. So it is. So the reality is not there. So everything becomes serious when you are attaching reality to it. Therefore, life is very serious for us. You know, just say my car got a small dent, I get so upset. The whole day is upsetting. But then it goes away because, okay, just a car. So the attachment comes from giving value to a reality. We briefly looked at it, the three types of reality, Pradibhasikam and Vyavakarikam. The third one we haven't studied well. Pradibhasikam is a perception. So therefore here we say, if you apply whether something is going to be eternal or not, then you will not have grief or ragadvesham based on this. And then we looked at the prayojanams and things like that, and we saw that satsangam is the best way to polish our vivekam, because especially Vedantic classes are a very good polishing stone for your knife of intellect, because here everything is questioned. Nothing is unquestioned. Even just because Shankara says or Ramanuja says or Vyasa says, I'm not going to take it. They don't want you to take it because they want you to experiment that. Even the name of Brahma is called Kaha because he is asking, what is this? Why? So the questioning and the answering is very important. So the student in us asked the teacher, what is Nitya Anitya Vastu? So Nitya Vastvekam, Nitya Anitya Vastu Veda Kaha. What is this? So the teacher responds, Nitya Vastvekam Brahma. Is Nitya Vast Ekam Brahma. Ekam. Only the Brahman alone is Nityam. Right? How can I know? I don't even know what is Brahma. I'm just a novice. I have not taken the Vedanta. You're asking me to have a qualification. The first condition you're telling me, teacher, understand Brahma is Nityam. I don't even know who is Brahma. Therefore, he continues the next line, knowing that you can't. He's actually giving a very simple means, that is, know that what is eternal is real. Then the Guru realizes, okay, you may ask the question, what is real, what is Brahma? Therefore, he says that means that Vediraktam. Vediraktam means separate, different. All that is different from what you see as eternal, he doesn't need to say it, you know it very well, should be anityam, ephemeral. The Guru is not giving you the complete elucidation because he is just giving you the definition here. What is eternal is Brahman. I don't know Brahman. Therefore, I am not going to really looking for what is eternal. I need a teacher to tell me. But there is a subclause. Whatever is anityam, I do the corollary of it. Everything other than Brahman is anityam. Therefore, I don't know the Brahman, which means I know everything other than the Brahman. Therefore, everything I know is anityam. Do you see? You can just repeat it. First line says, what is real alone is Brahman. I say, teacher, I do not know Brahman. He says, everything else is anityam. Now, I know everything else because I said I know Brahman. I don't know Brahman. That means I must know something else, everything else. But he says now, if you do not know Brahman, everything else you know is anityam. It is a shocking statement. That means my knowledge can only work on things that is not eternal. What about these Vedas? What about all this Sostram? What about knowledge? Is it anityam? It should be because Veda says it is anityam. Veda is a pramanam. But when it will be anityam? To whom it will be anityam? So that is a question the student will have in his mind. But the teacher has put him on the spot. Okay, my dear boy, you don't know what is Brahma, but you know everything else. Take it in Shraddha that everything else is anityam. So I will have to go back. And then the last line he concludes that I am eva, this alone is nitya, anitya, vastu, viveka. Vastu means the object. This alone is the nitya vastu viveka. This alone is the knowledge that you need to have, or the quality that you have. In other words, your mind should be able to differentiate what is eternal and what is ephemeral. How do we do that? Very simple. Just look around. So if you are a very classical physicist, you will say, what is change means? Change means a known object, a known entity have a completely distinct and variable feature in a different space and time. That's a pure definition of change in physics. It should exhibit a different quality, attributes, and a different space and time. But then if you look at physics, every element changes. So therefore, since I'm not going to look for Brahma, although Bhagavan says that's the most easiest one. Imagine there are Ekam Brahma. Look at this word Ekam. Ekam means one. You can also say only here, it's Ekam. One. What is easy, to find one and say that is the real one, or find indefinite number of objects and say you are anityam, you are anityam, you are anityam? What is the most tedious task to do? Quantitatively saying, one is much better. Therefore, Brahmajnanam is the most easiest one. Kinchit prayatnam nasti. You don't need to do any effort. But it is elusive. But the world offers so much of objects, therefore it is much easier for me to go after the objects. Yes, please go after the objects. Enjoy it, but go with the nitya, anitya, vastu viveka. He will prove that the object is anityam. Then take the next object. So I thought my parents were nitya when I was a small baby. My parents were my angels. And then they're gone. So it took me a long time to realize, okay, that was the first that I saw. Then I realized, okay, this is it. So in every aspect of life, in everything that we see perishability. I don't want us to be pessimistic, sadist, looking at the dark side of things. Because death is not a dark side, it's a change. This is one of the important points of this exercise, because why am I doing all these things? What is the benefit of all the studies and application of it? Because I need to be free and fulfilled. What is free? What is fulfillment? I'm happy. I have a fantastic Sunday afternoon, have a good meal, have a glass of wine or whatever, and I relax back. If that is fine, fine with you. But if you are still unfulfilled, it is a bhayam, especially as we grow older. The dukkha becomes bhayam. Everything, you're afraid of everything. What is the real Dracula fear? Is the death. What will happen if I die? I become nothing. How can you be nothing? So the non-existence in a particular space in time, if you take it as a transformation, transcendence, then it is not fear anymore, curiosity maybe. If I'm going to be somebody else in somebody embodiment, what I would be, that there will be curiosity, not fear. You see, this is what Vedanta tells you. Vedanta knows that samsara is shokam and bhayam. See, we go to gurus, what we say, abhayam. Please give me abhayam. Abhayam means make me fearless. If you are fearless, there is no grief. And all the fear put together is fear of death, fear of not being there in this world anymore. Therefore, it's very much on the aim of the Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka. Why am I going around and looking for the world doesn't exist, parents don't exist all the time, the building doesn't exist, fame doesn't exist? I may not exist. It's very personal to me. I never thought about it. Or even I think about it, I forget about it. So am I therefore asked now to think about it and rue about it and be sad about it? No, absolutely not. Once you get convinced that this is anityam, I use the word very carefully, this is anityam. So what is that this is very important. And if I call myself this is I won't say this is, no, I say I am. I don't say this, I have this body. I don't say I to that body, I say this is to my body. So if I say this is anityam, therefore my body will be anityam. Everybody knows it's common sense. So what is wrong in putting that in a perspective of it? Why I put that in perspective? Because if I put that in the perspective, the dealings that I do with this object, which is my body or myself, my embodiment, my identification, would be very different, very polished. Is it not? When somebody is in a very serious condition and the doctor says they're going to pass away in a few hours, your enmity is gone to them, right? Compassion comes in. You want them to be happy. Even to enemy, you won't really make them hurt, unless you are really a cruel person, right? So what happened there is only the time has been now come to that person, subject to the person, but it is the same for you. So therefore, if we need to make that person to be free, happy, nice and comfortable in those last days of his embodiment, and I know that is going to be happening to me, but I am not short-sighted to have this last bedridden, weak, physically incapable, kind of a rolling cloth. I'm just on a bed, regretting about it. I'm young and agile and walking around with that vivekam. Therefore, I can be free now. I can be happy now. You see, is the difference? It transforms one's objective in life. It transforms how you approach things in life. That's why vivekam is a very important element, but it is a mental capacity to understand the perishability of things. Therefore, if you blame me for something I've not done, I won't feel hurt because this will pass. The prayojanam of vivekam is, nitya anitya vastu vivekam is, you have the capacity to endure anything. Forbearance, the diksha will come. Because you know it just go away. So we will not talk about viveka anymore. There's something, I mean, it's needed to come back to it. But as I go back to the initial statement, please put into practice. By saying you are telling me as well. So I think it's important that we cognize this learning and assimilate into our daily life. Now, next one is Vairagya. So again, we look at it, what is Vairagya? How one attains Vairagya? And what are the benefits? But this is the most commonly misunderstood word very often use the word. I use in a very different meaning. I mean, I know in Tamil people say vairagyam in the sense of pidivadam, stubbornness. I think it's a mistake, but they get used to it. So generally, I mean, it's like dharma. Many words in Sanskrit have no precise English word for it. So great seers have used the word like dispassion, detachment, discernment. We can use the same word, but I think wherever possible, we use the word viragha or vairagyam because it has got a lot more than that. Again, you can look at it. Passion is a mental ability, capability. Dispassion means you disown the passion. Detachment. So etymologically, viragaha. Ragaha means, I mean, many meanings: color, varna, emotions. You know, in Carnatic, in music, you say raga, ragam. What happened? It creates a color to the swara. It creates a feeling, a kind of ambience to that. So anything that has got, that colors you, have an opinion in situ, it's called raga. V is without it, without the color, without that painting on you. That means it's a very plain canvas. Even if you say vairagyam, same way. Why, for example, means to dry out. So raga again, color. So dry out the thing, just remove it. Which means, see, whenever you have an opinion, the pradibhashikam is mainly because you have a notion on things. When you have a notion on things, you color your mind. I think in the music also the same way, when the words are given a particular bhava in singing, it puts you in a particular mode of tuning to this. It's colored. But here we use it in a very different context. Here we use in the context of bringing dispassion. How can we bring dispassion? Dispassion and detachment, again, I say the English is not 100% the same way, but they're combining this. Passion is about intensity of purpose in what you do, that you even put your whole commitment to that emotionally, not applying intellect, but emotionally. Oh, I'm passionate about this football match. I need to see it. I need to have this 8 o'clock coffee. I need this. I must have the coffee, otherwise my day is gone. Attachment. So this we need to be giving it up. But here, the Guru gives a very specific. There are so many ways you can do vairagyam, right? As I was telling you, now people may have a tragedy comes in. So then they say, oh, this is it. I will never do it. So one day you go and have maybe a particular Chinese food you eat, you like it, it upsets your tummy. And the next day morning you'll say, never ever again the Chinese. It's upsetting. A week after you go back. So you can have vairagyams on many things, but here Shankara is very clear. It is Iga, Swarga, Bhoheshu, Icha, Ahityam. Iha means in this world, Swarga means heaven or any other world, any other life here and after. Bhogeshu. Bhoga means enjoyment. See, we had a lot of insight at this one. Bhog, life, we are a bhogatma. The whole embodiment is to enjoy the life. The world is for enjoyment, everything for enjoyment. Tattva Upanishad gives you a paragraph of words. Look at it, look at the sky, look at the flowers, look at the birds. Everything is for you to enjoy it. So you enjoy it. Here it says, Ichcha Rahityam. Sakitam means con, with. Rahityam means song, without. So Ichcha means the will, the desire. So without the desire for the pleasures of life here and hereinafter. We saw that before when you introduced that Iha Mutra Artha Bala Bhoga. When you introduce the second verse, the same thing. So he is asking you to have a dispassion and detachment to the very purpose of life. Very purpose of life is Dharmartha Kama. Artha Kama. I must have a nice family, nice children, grandchildren, enjoy food, enjoy the house, enjoy the fame. I do some punya so that the next janma I become maybe like Bill Gates, makes lots of money. But he says all that you don't have desire. If you want to know liberation, moksha. But if you say, no, I want to have all those things, what do? Can I live with Vedanta? You will learn later, not necessarily. If you follow the Vedanta and do the Brahma Vidya, it is as good as doing a mini Vajpaya Yagam. It is as good as doing many thousands of Sahasranama Archanas. So Vedanta Vicharam is not a dry debate or discussion. It is a puja, it is a yajna. But I don't see a Swami in front of me. I don't do flowers. Swami is within you. You are the pujari, you are the pujatma, you are the daiva. So therefore, do not ever think contemplation and participating in satsang, in Vedanta Vichara is a supplementary act to my other bhakti or karma pradhana activities. They are equal, if not superior. It's as good as that. But how do I give up the desire? How is it possible? Is it possible at all? How can you give desire away? Even if I desire for moksha, is it not a desire? Even if I desire to see my beloved Krishna, is it not a desire? Ambal is called Ichcha Shakti Swarupini. The Parabrahman, when it was in a state of absolute bliss, had a small chalanam, it's called Ichcha. Aham, it said, Idam Kedha Shakti. So without that Ichcha, this duality is not there at all. So how can I not have the desire? See, like we are all Purva Pakshi, when we ask questions, we should ask questions in our mind. Not a single letter or a word can escape our scrutiny. Just because it is said in Vedas, we take it Shraddha, but we ask questions, we apply logic, Nyaya, to better understand it. So here the Guru is saying, you must give up the desires. So my question is, all sorts of desire? No, I already told you here, Iha Swarga Bhogeshu. So your question about desire to get Paramapurushartham is allowed. But at some stage you will see even that desire will go away. Because I can say this now, because this also bothering my mind many months. And I remember my father was telling me, because this is not, when you desire for moksha, you desire for the Brahma Jnana. You will see at some stage Brahma Jnanam is Jiva Ishvara Aikyavakyartha Vilasam. That you become that. Now, if you become that, that means if you're looking for the Paramatma, and it is going to tell me that I am that, therefore I am seeking myself. That means my desire for Parama Purushartham is a desire for me, but I am not new. I am already here. Therefore, I am desiring to get what I already have. You see the point? It is a Siddha Vastu. It's already there. Like, if I keep my glasses like this and looking for my glasses everywhere, and you tell me, hey, your glasses on your nose, on your forehead. Oh my God, I got it now. Therefore, I learned that if you are aspiring to get what you already have, that aspiration is Ichcha. That is a Parama Asha. That's a desire that you can have, you must have. Aprapti, anything that is not there at all, that you seek, that is Asha. You understand? Anything that is not there, that you want to acquire, that is Kama. Therefore, be comfortable that when I seek God, when I seek Veda Jnanam, when I seek Brahma Jnanam, when I have desire for this kind of Artha Jnanam, that desire is not a desire in a normal sense. It is something, because it's going to lead into what? Something you already have, the godliness in you. Since I already have it and I'm asking for it, it's not a desire of normal sort. I hope it makes sense. But here he is given a much simpler way. You have to give up these things on the dosha. But we need to know how to get it, what kind of intensity that we should apply for it. So in another word, we can put it. So some people may think, I saw one lecture, someone was saying, you give away everything, get out of this place, go away. Like they always quote this Bhadragiri, who had a very miserable life, and he then wrote wonderful Vairagi Sadhagam, 100 songs. Patinathar, Arunagirinathar, everybody has gone through, enjoyed the life, and they are burned by it, and then they become Vairagis, and then they blame what they've gone through it. It is a great, no, I'm not in any way disrespecting them. They have achieved the state, and we have to learn from the experience. But when they sang those songs of dispassion and almost abusing, in Arunagirinath's place, he abuses union with women, kind of things. But this should not be taken in straight matter of fact. It's not a Shruti Vakyam. It is his way of knowing the source where he found his Vairagya. But as Shankara put in, Vairagyam is all about engage. See, if you hate everything, you're pretty well not in this whole world. Hate has no place in this world. Dislike is absolutely no cause. Because if everything is divine, who can you hate? Who can you dislike? Absolutely no. But you engage with them, not entangle with them. We get entangled in things. Renunciation is not giving away and then going to the forest. That is cowardice. Renunciation is being part and parcel of everything, but untouched by it. That's why great Muni, Yajnavalkya, everybody goes pranams to Janaka, the king who ruled this palace city with such a poise and vairagya. So this is another learning we should take in life. That yes, I have to do a lot of things in this world. I have got so many tasks to do. I'm not going to run away from this. I'm going to manage them, but I'm not going to be entangled by it. What does it mean? That is, you do that without passion about it. Is it difficult to do? Is it easy to do? It is very difficult to do. It is not at all easy. In many Vivekis have no Vairagya. They had a great fall. But Vivekam and Vairagyam are two sides of the same coin. You just have to flip. For that, you need abhyas. So I first give you a little bit technical terms, because I think we take the Patanjali's how he says. Everybody got what's called apara vairagyam. The first state is to be detached from the external pleasure. First of all, you must take the first decision, a sankalpam, that I am going to be practicing vairagyam. So I take the yathartham of every product, I look at them and then put an effort. It's called yatamana. I'm going to put an effort to develop a vairagyam. That means everything I deal in the world, I'm going to apply some dispassion. Remember, it is not hate. It's not running away. It is seeing it as if you're seeing. I have a technique to give you this one for this. Just treat life as a game. Life as a play. We do that in the management course. When you are in a difficult situation, when you are engaged in negotiation, when you're doing a staff appraisal, when you do everything, you put yourself as an actor doing that role. How do I apply in intimate life? Yes, you should apply. I'm the husband of a wife, father to a child. So when I talk to my child, I now put myself as a role of a father. Why I do that? Why you do that? When you do that, when there is a role, there is a definition of the role. There's a performance of the role. You don't do, in the performance appraisals, they don't appraise Raj or Balaji in the role. They appraise Raj as a manager. It's a role of the manager they appraise. And you just happen to be in that role. And they will not appraise your personal qualities. No. How you apply to the role. So every time you think, I'm approaching this. Now, if I am in this class, I'm sharing my limited knowledge. My role is to give my knowledge as sincerely as possible. Then I must think in the back of my mind, am I using that properly? Am I going away from examples which may digress the subject? You see, this constant appraisal is going in mind. You should have it in every mind. This state is called yatama. I'm simplifying it. We can go in a technical term later. Then once you have done that one, you go to a state called vyatireka. Vyatireka is what? You have identified that, look, I have all this kind of attachment, passion, because my senses go after them. So I want to sit here and ignore everything, but the smell of wonderful sweet that's made in the kitchen just comes through the breeze and then it goes to my nose. So therefore I lose my control. So when you start controlling this Dhamma, we'll talk about it in detail later, you get a second state. That is, you're able to control your senses and the mind a bit. And you practice it, practice it, practice it. At some stage, you feel that you are able to really control the mind, control your senses, but you still have this kind of a dislikes to people. You know, I don't need the sweet. I will go away from the sweet. The sweet smell comes around me. I control my senses. It doesn't affect me. I got a vairagya. I got a vetirekam. But in my heart, I think about, yes, my senses don't disturb me, but memory comes to me how wonderful that sweet was when I eat it. Same way, hate. Yeah, I have no more hate, but I still believe that day that what he did to me, a bit upsetting. So this raga dvesham, all this comes in. No, this comes to even to great jnani. Why should Durvasa get cursed to people? No, he is a Brahma jnani, right? But he hasn't trust the Ekendriya. His vasana comes in. Durvasa. Vasana is what it is. So we will be in a state, this is inevitable state. Because this is not by your effort alone. It is coming from your vasanas. So Ekendriyam this is the state where Arunagirinathar, Pattinathar, Purandradasa, everybody started crying and asking for help. I have now controlled my mind. I have no bad senses, but I still have this kind of raga dvesham coming to me. Lift me out of these vasanas. How do my vasanas goes away? Vasana chayam has to happen. You need to have the kripa of the God. Once that is passed, you call vasikara. That means one who have actually achieved the vairagyam that Bhagavan has asked for. Iga, Swarga, Bhoga, Viraga. So this is. I mean, when we have any time, probably we can look at it and how this is. Can I take 10 minutes? You have time for that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Why not?
So that I can.
Sure.
Come to the finishing stage.
Sure.
So that's the reason I say you need to have the grace of God and the guidance of the Guru. These two will start merging very slowly. The moment you start understanding it, the grace of God, if I look at the Purva Mimamsika part view, the grace is nothing but the commitment by the God to give you the blessing. Why I say commitment by the God? He is a karma balatata. When you do the dharmartha karmas, you accumulate punya, God has no choice but to give you that. That's the reason why Hiranyakasipu, Hiranyaksha, everybody got everything in the world. They done so much of punya karyas. But they were praise oriented. God has no choice. He just innate witness. Okay, you done it, take it. Therefore, grace means here by your punyas. Therefore, to get this vachikaratvam, to have this absolute vairagyam, you need to do punya. Therefore, you still go back to this dharma karyam, karma yogam, all that you should continue to do. And then the Guru is essential. The Guru Vakyam is also like the grace. It is like steering you in the right direction. You remember that one? Annapurne, Sadapurne, Shankara Pranavallabe, Jnana Vairagya Siddhyat, Bhikshandehi, Parvati. Jnanam and Vairagyam. You have to go and beg for it to the great Guru and the. So this looks all a bit technical. I don't know Yoga Shastram. I don't know all this method of it. All this sound very bombastic, and again, it give me something in a simple way. I can do it. So simplicity is the best way. So let's look at it. How one attains and enhances Vairagya. We go back from the. See, the beauty is because Shankara's every word is so precise. The words contain the problem and the knowledge, what you need. So let us look at it. What do we need to do? Icharahityam, removal of desires. So desire to be removed, the best way to remove anything is to remove the cause. So why does the desire come? It's so difficult to do. So let me try to read this one. It's not important to understand now. So Asha Nama Nadi, Manorada Jala, Trishna Trangakula, Ragagrahapati, Vidakka Vidaha, Dairyat Dhruma Dhamsini. The Asha, the desire is like a river. The imaginations, the Kalpana is like the tides. And there you have the crocodiles of desires. And the doubts and the samsayas is hovering like birds over it. It's a Bhattacharya song. Basically, what I'm saying is, I'm just quoting him to say, it is very difficult to remove the desire. But we have the way to do that by looking at the cause of the desire. The cause of the desire is a thought about it, is it not? You will not be desirous about a particular jewelry if you don't see it, or particular book if you don't have it, read about it. Therefore, as a Vedantic Jignasu, we look for the root. The root of desire is the thought about the object of desire, sankalpa. Therefore, instead of desire removal, I can remove the sankalpa, sankalpa nivatti. Right. But the desire of, the thought of an object to be liked, how does it come? That comes from the association, sangatvam. And then you have a false notion of joy. Sukha adhyasa. When you see something, adhyasa means a false superimposition, false projection. Oh, there is that kind of a brown color liquid on the table. Everybody who drinks it feels very joyful. Therefore, there is a sukham on this drink. Therefore, sukham adhyasam, sukadhyasam. I put the notion of joyhood on the object. How that thought came in? Sangatvam. I am associated with the object. I see the object. This is the reason why satsangatve nishangatvam. So if you are in a party on Sunday morning, in a pub, you look at the objects and your desire will go there. Here the object will be moksha. So therefore it is different. So therefore, to kill the desire, I must kill the thought of the desire. The thought of desire comes from my adhyasa, my superimposition of giving a false value to that. Now the question comes in, what kind of gives me the false knowledge? Ajnana. So we come back to this root of the problem of samsara. So if I am thinking that something is joyful, if therefore I can ignore all the reasons, sankalpa, nivritti, sugadhyaya, nivritti, the root cause is ajnana. Therefore, if I need to control my desire on things which are not to be decided upon. I need to remove my ajnana. So where do we remove the ajnana? From the Vedanta. Therefore, to get the Vairagyam, what you need to do? You need to be in the Vedantic learning. What kind of learning? Nitya, Anitya, Vastu, Viveka. See how you can see now, Vivekam becomes the root cause for attaining Vairagyam. But if you get Vairagyam by any other means, because of tragedy, because of things, that will be tenable all the time. So in simply, therefore, I put in two baskets that we should practice to get Vairagya. I'm oversimplifying it, but more practical. First one, you attain Vairagya by Viveka. So you can go through this path I showed you from bottom to top. On top to bottom, you can see everything because of my Ajnanam. You can look at example of your life. What you thought is going to be very lovable and eternally blissful, proven to be otherwise. Therefore, you learned a lesson. You do that. The second one, which is a very, I would say, sensitive one, Anityatvam. You contemplate, you do jhanam on it. This jhanam you don't tell anybody. You should do it yourself. Don't tell anybody. Because you are thinking, contemplating on things that are going to be past, temporal. Imagine, I take an example. Suppose I think, oh, if I lose the job tomorrow, what will happen? I think about it. My mental faculties become very robust. If that happens, God forbid doesn't happen, if that happens, I'm already prepared for it. This you can extend to any level, even to death. But this is a very subtle one, very Tivra Vairagya practice, but you don't tell anybody. You should keep it to yourself. So why we have to do this kind of thinking? Would it make me sad? No, it will make you strong. See, strong mind. See, people say it is not enough to be a very nice person. You always say nice things to others. But if somebody tells me off and I get hurt by it, I'm no good. I may be a nice person. I may always speak nice things, but I can't take anybody's word. It hurts me. So I don't have a dhrida mind, which we learn in the next quality. But to do that, you need Vairagya. So you do two things. Vivekam as a practice to attain Vairagyam, and this kind of a Anityatvam as a contemplation you do. So what are the benefits? Very quickly, very simple. Of course, it is, as Shastra says, it will give you moksha. It will give you the most important thing, which is also the next quality that we need, peaceful mind. Mind becomes very peaceful. Our intellect becomes blemishless, clear and resolute. And the object on which you do, you see, people say, I go to Varanasi, Kashi Yatra, and Shastra Padi, I need to give up something. So I give up bitter gourd. I won't eat any more bitter gourd. That's not Vairagya. Ichcha. What you love most, what you desire most. You can't say, I love my wife. You can't leave the wife there and come back. That is not the thing. It is about your own thing, your boga, your what gives you boga, an object of incident object that you have. You leave it there. I think more direct benefit is if you take an object on which you want to practice Vairagya. For example, I wanted to buy the iPhone 15 or whatever. It's going to come. If I keep on thinking I want to buy it, I'll go and buy it. I spend 2,000 pounds, it'll come through. But if I start thinking about it, I bought iPhone 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. My money is depleting. What's the bloody point of this? I would not do it. So I create a vairagyam on it. That's it. So what happened when iPhone 15 comes in on the screen? It doesn't tempt me. I don't spend money. Then you say, I got vairagyam on iPhone 16. But God says, Guru says, in every iha swarga bhogyeshu, in every object you create vairagyam. So with this, I would come to a stop. So basically, in summary, we achieved, not achieved, at least we have shared some important points to understand Viveka and Vairagya. In the next class, we'll take the next part. Thank you. Sean.
Thank you. And we'll end with the Upanishad. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya.
Om Asato Ma
Sadgamaya. Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya.
Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya.
Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om
Shanti. Thank you very much for being here today. I know it has been a little longer, but because of certain interruptions in between, but otherwise we will be aiming to finish it at 12 in future. Thank you very much. I know there are so many other engagements today, and therefore I think we will not hold you more time. Okay.
Thank you, Mama. Thanks. Bye.
Did you enjoy Acharya's talk? Anybody?
Yeah.